Hello, everybody. My name is Alyssa Clark, and I chose a nonprofit program coordinator as my field to explore. So let's go ahead and get started. There are a lot of factors in being nonprofit program coordinator and kind of what that job entails. So I will be going over job tasks that are frequently required, typical work environments for this career, typical stressors, salary ranges and benefits, and what these jobs require. So let's start out with job tasks. I have pre-selected a few different jobs for us to look at. So I know it's cut off here at the top for you, but this program is for Street Outreach Program Coordinator, located in Olympia, Washington, my hometown. And this is a very locally based organization. It's also on the lower end of the pay scale. It's $18.98 a month. That translates to about $30,000 a year. Let's take a look at the job responsibilities. So we see where it's divided into three sections. We have management. We're going to be providing oversight and supervision to a lot of other people. Okay, especially volunteers. Okay, we're going to be scheduling meetings, providing case management for youth that need shelter. We're going to work with a program director. Okay, that's interesting. And we're going to track things. All right, so it's a lot of clerical and also a lot of management, leadership type duties. We also see, we have a different section for supervision and staff management. That's interesting. So we're in charge of staff meetings, reviewing performance. We assist with program direction, provide support. Okay. We make quarterly review reports. Wow. We even help out with budgets. We ask people for money, grant and report writing. And look at this, direct services. So on top of all those duties, you also are going to be working directly with homeless youth, which is what this program specializes in. And you're going to help them get educational opportunities, leadership opportunities, and help them to become self-sufficient. Excellent, excellent. We have another administrative section. And it says we're going to attend all the meetings in the world, which is awesome. Okay, wow. So we have a lot here in this one, and this is a locally based organization. It just has one town. So this is a smaller nonprofit. We are going to compare and contrast what it looks like with a larger nonprofit. This one is based in Seattle. And it covers essentially the greater Seattle area, so it is a larger organization, certainly. And looks like we're working with whole families here, not just youth. So we're going to be, track partnership performance, including outputs, deliverables. We're going to collaborate with other people. We're going to advise other site and program managers. Okay, so this is a fairly large organization. Okay, so this is the complete list of duties. It looks like we're doing a lot of planning here. Producing actionable feedback to partners. That's a really interesting phrase. Sometimes that is the program director's job, sometimes that's the program manager's job, and sometimes the program manager and the program director are the same person. And when they're the same person, it means you are working a lot of hours per week. So that's kind of this example. So it's a lot of the same things, but perhaps with less direct working with the community that's being served, and more time spent with charts and with staff over volunteers. So here we have another example. This one is a regional organization. So it covers a lot more space. So you see leadership, we're overseeing the Healthy Living Program, staff and volunteers. So we are working directly with volunteers again in this organization. Going to lead staff and committee meetings, that's a lot like the first one. We're going to serve as a member of the Care Navigator team. Okay, so we have a bunch of other people we're working with. We are going to participate and assist in marketing, community outreach, and fundraising actions. So that has been a common theme in all of them, is you're going to be working with marketing to varying degrees. We're going to be working on a community engagement plan. This one is pretty interesting. We see there's a program development and implementation section. This is an example where the community coordinator, like the program coordinator and the program director, are intermeshing roles a little bit. So this is one of those jobs that you're going to be working a lot of hours a week. Because not only are you doing all of the execution of the program, look here, we're going to be developing innovative, when possible, evidence-based program consistent with the program. So we're going to be making changes to the program. We're going to be collecting data on what's going well and what's not going well. So this is an example of where the director and coordinator are kind of the same person, or at least the roles are very similar. Okay, so that kind of covers job tasks. To summarize, job tasks, we had a lot of working directly with staff and managing other staff, and we saw a lot of community involvement, a lot of fundraising, and working directly with marketing. So those are the kind of typical tasks. Let's go on to work environment. So overall, this position is in an office environment. However, there may be some times when we're providing direct oversight and supervision, there may be some travel involved, depending on the type of nonprofit you're working with. It really depends on the type of program that's being initiated. You know, this one right here is for homeless youth, so they spend a lot of time out on the streets finding these youth and telling them that they have a safe place to go. But for the most part, you know, we have so many administrative duties and so many meetings, we're mostly going to be in an office. And that's true for these two as well, I already checked. So so to cover work environment, mostly office-based, but we may have some occasional field trips to, depending on the type of program we're working with, and also all those fundraisers, all those meetings with other organizations that have similar goals, all of that contributes to your work environment. So let's talk about your stressors. Especially this first one we have here. Your main stressor is going to be you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot of managing, and you're doing a lot of budgeting, and you're writing grants and things like that to get funding, and you're providing direct services. All of those could be a single job in and of themselves. This is a small organization, and so you're having one person fill all those roles. So that's a huge time commitment. So I'd say time is definitely a stressor. There's also, you know, in these, any human capital related stress. Things like coworkers not getting along, having to hire and fire people. A lot of the time, it's the coordinator that oversees hiring and firing processes if there needs to be that. So we definitely have a lot here. We are working directly with volunteers, and that's true of all of these positions as well. Volunteers are wonderful. Nonprofits need them desperately. It's important to recognize that with volunteers, a lot of the time you're going to have a high turnover rate and your labor might not be skilled. You're not hiring a professional that has background in this field, and so it's going to fall onto the manager to really make sure that everybody is getting a skill appropriate task. And that can be a pretty stressful situation. So that's kind of about stressors. Now let's take a look at salary and benefits, because there's an interesting thing here. I mentioned already this job is $30,000 a year. This locally based one, and that's definitely on the low side for this field. We do have some benefits offered. So we have paid time off, health insurance, dental. We have HSAs or FSAs and other types of insurance. Okay, so that could be life insurance. This one right here tells us kind of who they're expecting to hire. This is kind of an entry-level program coordinator position. And that we know that because benefits of education assistants, that means that they're hiring somebody with a bachelor's degree or possibly even an associate's degree that has quite a bit of experience in the field. But it's definitely a stepping stone position, and so they kind of tell you that already. And that's part of the reason you're working so many hours here, is because they are hiring somebody who doesn't have the experience, and so they're getting more work for less money because the work isn't as skilled. So this is kind of a lower range one. This one is based in Seattle, so you do have to remember it's Seattle wages here. But this one is $51,000 to $64,000 a year. And let's take a look at the benefits. So we have paid time off. We have parental leave. So that's something that wasn't in the other one. We do have health and dental insurance. That's going to be pretty typical. Other types of insurance, again, life insurance, perhaps. Retirement. Interestingly, they still have education assistance or tuition reimbursement. So that suggests that even though they're hiring somebody with some experience, they're really wanting to encourage their employees to pursue higher education, maybe a master's or even a PhD. We do have a telltale sign here that we're going to be traveling more for this job because they're offering us assistance. We do get employee discounts, flexible schedules, and food and coffee. All right, so that's all good. So a lot of these benefits are fairly typical. We have health insurance and paid time off. There is definitely some variation in quality and quantity. Let's take a look at the third one we picked out. Here we have, I think it's at the top. Hold on, nope, it is not at the top. Minimum qualifications, work environment. Okay, so this one does not explicitly list their benefits. However, they're, again, offering right around $50,000 or so a year. That's if you're up in the $21.50 range. That's what, somewhere between 40 and 50. So we can assume that we have health, dental, and retirement, probably paid time off, kind of those typical benefits. So that kind of covers 3 examples of salary and benefits. Now let's take a look at the education requirements. So this first one, I already kind of gave it away. It had Oh yeah, this one definitely has the fewest benefits. But they do have insurance, which is awesome. Um, so they are looking for somebody with a bachelor's degree in social work, plus 3 years of experience working with high-risk youth. That's a fairly typical qualification to want both a degree in social work or a related field like marriage and family studies, plus a few years of experience. So this is definitely not a straight out of college position. This is the one that paid the most, a cap of 64,000. They want a bachelor's degree but prefer a master's with 3 or more years of experience in project management itself. So this is probably, closer to 10 years out of college kind of position. You need to get a few years of grunt work and a few years of management on your belt before you're even eligible to apply. Um, and they want you to have experience with partnerships, and interestingly, they really like if you have public and nonprofit sectors to get that perspective. So this one is asking for a lot more in terms of education and experience, and they're also giving you more. Here we have, there's the job description, minimum qualifications. Interestingly, this one has a little less spelled out. We do have to be willing to work flexible hours, and they require a bachelor's degree and 3 years of experience in programming for social agencies working with seniors. So this one's a bit more specialized in seniors, and so they require those years of experience. But it's essentially the same pay grade. So that kind of covers the requirements in education. The more education you have and the more experience you have, the more your job opportunities go up, and you typically need to do a few years in whatever field the nonprofit is in, whether that's homeless youth, whether that's seniors, whether that's helping families get employed. So it definitely depends on exactly the organization that you want to work for. And it's the kind of job you get after about 3 years, and you start at about 30,000. So I hope this presentation has been informative and that looking at actual job descriptions helped you. Please comment and ask me any questions that you have. Thank you.